Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Canon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, back to my usual routine, man. Yeah, oh my goodness. What a game yesterday. What a day today at my first day at my placement. But forget about me, my personal bits and pieces. We're going to be reviewing the North London derby, as well as some other bits and pieces about injuries. Yeah, Arsenal injuries, they go together like a husband and wife. But we're going to get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Oh, boy. Yeah, welcome back to Canon Fodder TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And welcome to a new day, beginning of the week, Monday evening, 6 minutes after the hour over here in Greenwich Mean Time. I hope you had a relatively good day. I've kind of changed a little bit of things. So we've got Mr. Ange over here, and we've got Mr. A over there. No, Mr. Mkhitaryan over there. Mikel Arteta, and Ange Goku over here. Yeah, a little bit of a different setup. Right. So what a game yesterday. And I was thinking, where am I going to start? How am I going to start this one? And I thought, do you know what I'm going to start? I'm going to start with probably the injuries. Oh my goodness. Injuries. Arsenal injuries go together. Well, Declan Rice injury, not serious. Amid Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, the Lisandro Trossard, and of course the 42-year-old Thomas Partey. Now, Arsenal have been boosted by the news that Declan Rice's back injury is not thought to be serious. Rice injured his back during yesterday's North London derby against Tottenham and was forced off at half-time. That prompted fears that the midfielder could spend a spell on the sidelines, but the initial diagnosis is understood to be positive. Rice is not thought to have done any serious injury or damage, but will continue to be assessed over the coming days and almost certainly sits out the trip to Brentford in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday, the League Cup that we've not won in 30-odd years. Now, the same goes for Leandro Trossard, who has a muscular issue. They always say an issue, innit? Just say an issue. Don't say must. Just say he's got an issue. That's so generic. He's due to have further tests in the coming days, but the injury is not thought to be serious. But the Belgian is hoping that he could return in action for Arsenal's trip to Bournemouth in the Premier League on Saturday after missing the North London derby. And we'll hope to get Trossard back for then, as they're already without fellow winger Gabriel Martinelli. I mean, just compounding one thing on top of the other. But the Brazilian is still receiving treatment on the hamstring after injuring himself after his goal was disallowed. But it's understood to be not a long-term issue. Now for the 42-year-old midfielder, Thomas Partey, who has been out since last month with a groin injury, is progressing well and hopes to be back soon. There's also positive news about Bukayo Saka, who took a knock, or 2 or 3 or 4, to his foot in the draw in North London derby. The issue is understood to be nothing serious. So I tell you what, man. Oh, my goodness. How many times are we going to talk about this? How many times are we going to talk about this? I don't know. How many times? How many times can you talk about that? Another player. Players. Injury list. Growing. I tell you what. I'll say this. We've got more quality. That's no doubt for me. No, more quality and a little bit of depth. But there's nothing you can do really when you've got, for me, who's been the sign of the last 2-3 transfer windows, Trossard out injured, my star boy, Gabriel Martinelli out injured, and recently Declan Rice out injured. There's nothing you can do for that. I mean, how do you cover those angles there for the eventuality when your players get out injured? I don't know. Come in live chat. Let me know. How can you prepare for that? There's nothing you can do prepare yourself for that. And I think even a Pep Guardiola would have struggled with those players out injured. I'm absolutely sure on that. But, you can see that Mikel Arteta has tried to bump up the left-hand side with, like I said, with your Gabriel Martinelli's. Julian Trossards. What more can you do? I mean, the midfield. I'm just thinking, who's Mikel Arteta's chosen one when it comes in that position as a holding midfielder? It's not Thomas Partey. We don't have a holding midfielder apart from Declan Rice and maybe Mohamed El-Neni. So it's a testy situation. And you're probably thinking, but you know what, Man City game, they're going to be out without Rodri. Yeah, but you got to think, who's been their star player in the midfield? Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is and was, because he's that injured, for, I don't know, 3 months. But Rodri has been doing the business. So I think if you look at the comparable for the two teams, when we face them quite soon, the odds are stacked in Man City's favour. Mikel Arteta, I give you props because you've done the best you could do, but what can you do? But anyway, the good news, it says there, from what I'm seeing there, that Declan Rice had a strange back problem. Can't say nothing more than that. Can't say nothing more than that. All right. The next news segment. Oh my goodness. Let me just go into it. Let me just go into it. So these two strikers, they did not have the best of games. Actually, not a lot of players had the best of games yesterday in North London. But I tell you what, Paul Merson believes that Arsenal need a proper centre forward. I'm thinking, what do you mean a proper centre forward? What's the definition of a proper centre forward? Somebody that runs all over the pitch, that defends as well as helps the midfield and kind of attacks, or an out-and-out striker? Well, anyway, we need a proper centre forward, as Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah aren't good enough to win them the Premier League. Now, let me just say a disclaimer here. Paul Merson is saying this. I am not saying that. All right? Mikel Arteta started Jesus and Nketiah together for the first time for Sunday's North London derby against Tottenham. However, both strikers missed a golden opportunity to score as the Gunners were pegged back in a 2-2 draw at the Emirates. The result has left Arsenal 4 points off the leaders Man City after 6 games. And though they are still unbeaten, they are concerned that their title challenge could be over before the season really gets started. Now, Merson shares his concern, writing in the Sky Sports column, "I've always said it from day one. Eddie Nketiah is not going to win you the Premier League. You need a proper centre forward." I'm not blaming Eddie because they drew 2-2 of Tottenham, but with 32 games to go and all the Champions League games that they have to play, I don't think he takes them to the next level. I don't think Gabriel Jesus takes them to the next level. I'm just thank God that he said that, actually. I was so confident that Arsenal would win on Sunday, but when I saw the teams, I was majorly worried. Jesus on the wing, Nketiah up front, Fabio, I don't think he's good enough. Then Declan Rice comes off and Jorginho comes on. It wasn't Arsenal's strongest team, but when you think about the Champions League and all the games they have to play, it looked a bit weak on the Sunday, didn't it? Now, as for Arteta could sign to remedy the situation, who is the player we've been talking about? Ivan Toney has been prominently linked with the Emirates amid reports that he will leave Brentford in January when his suspension is over. Now, Merson believes that England international, who has scored 32 goals in 66 Premier League games, could be a good fit, though admitted that there are a few options available at the moment. It's all right sitting there and thinking they need a centre forward, but who is there? The Gunners legend added. Only Ivan Toney is available in January. There aren't many centre forwards around in the world. They're a dying breed. Toney's a good player. He can hold the ball up. He's good in the air. Arsenal might have to go for him, but there are not a million centre forwards around. I mean, this is going to rage and rage and go on and on and on until the break of dawn. I've said it many times. We've been talking about the plan B and changing the tactics when things are not going well, or actually, in actual fact, you be the one, be proactive. But why not have an out-and-out striker? Ivan Toney would be perfect. I understand how we play. We don't play and just log the ball up, hoping that our striker will head it, nod it on for our attacking forwards. But he would provide something different. I've said this so many times. Provide just something different for Arsenal. And nobody listens to me. That's the problem. Nobody ever listens to me on Cannon 40 TV. But Yeah, yeah. And you know what? These or those have been the new segments currently running on Canal 40 TV. But I wanted to add just one more thing. I know some people, and I guess maybe I include myself, that when you're around certain people, they kind of give you life, makes you want to talk and, take on the world. And when the person or people aren't there around you, you come a little bit subdued. And the reason why I'm saying that is that I'm looking at Martin Odegaard, for example. Where was he? Where was he? He was pretty anonymous. Now, was it the fact that when Declan Rice went off, he just couldn't find with it himself to kind of, I don't know, bring the game to life, be the main attacker, the catalyst. But he wasn't his usual self. I just thought I'd mention that. I just thought I'd mention that. And in regards to Declan Rice, I noticed that he struggled for was it their first goal? That was their first goal, wasn't it? When Maddison turned Bukayo Saka, and there was actually nobody there for about 10 yards. And I could see that Declan Rice was struggling to close him down. And I wasn't surprised to hear that he had a back injury. The other thing I wanted to say was about Mikel Arteta making those changes. Again, I understand that Edinson didn't have the best of games. He was also on the yellow card. I don't know, it was a little bit too hyped. When it was a 50-50 ball, I was thinking, you know what? Take him off. The last thing you want is your striker, we're down on numbers, you don't Eddie Nketiah to get a red card. He didn't take him off. He took Gabriel Jesus off. Why is that? I have no idea. So if somebody else can come and tell me why that was, I'll be happy as Larry to know why that was. But like I said, that was it. That was it. For Tottenham's credit, their manager, Angie, it seems like they have found, I don't know, the better manager of the last 4 or 5 picks in Ange Postecoglou. And the guy was not ramping and raving on the sidelines. He was cool, calm, and collective. And they're playing for him. Free as a bird. Free as a bird. And we could have lost. Because they had chances, we had chances. I guess maybe a draw 2-2 was a fair result. But, I hate giving them credit because I can't stand them. But I've got to give them credit. They persisted and persisted until they got what they wanted. And a lot of people are saying, oh, but why do you take off Son? Why would he do that for? If you're telling me, if I was Ange Postecoglou, and you're saying to me, you know what, you're going to leave the Emirates with a point, I would take that all day long. So he kind of shut up shop. And I think he was actually saying to Arsenal, come on, show us what you can do. Break us down. Because I actually thought the floodgates were going to open when we scored the goal there. Oh, it was a big deflection from Romero. And I thought Romero was having a nightmare. Oh, my goodness. Own goal, penalty. But he got the captain's armband. I was thinking, what's going on here, man? But anyway, that's none of my business. The last point I want to make before I go into our Twitter platform is when you are attacker, for example, Bukayo Saka, and you are coming up against a left back and he is on a yellow card, your mind should tell you, let me persist. Let me persist. And, I won't say try and get him sent off. If he's going to foul me and then the referee pulls out the red, then so be it. But I just didn't see it. I didn't see Bukayo Saka, chasing down, I think it was, what's his name? I forgot his name now. Orogi? I can't remember his name now. He's already on a yellow card. So your mind should tell, well, all right, okay, so it's in my favor. Let me make him make a never foul me. Get another yellow card, he gets sent off. But I just didn't see that. I didn't see it. I was thinking, why was that? Surely the manager should be telling Bukayo Saka, keep going at him, because he's going to give up another yellow card. I just didn't see that. those small margins would mean a lot. But at the end of the day, I guess it was a fair result, if you could probably say that. 2 points dropped in our favour, of course. Of course. And I've seen some people saying, Bukayo Saka was the only player that turned up. Well, I thought Ben White had a relatively good game. Zinchenko was quite steady. Rice was okay until he got taken off. And I guess maybe the rest just didn't turn up. But the 11 here with Raya in goal, he wasn't at fault for any of the goals there. Very, very difficult. I thought he actually did a wonder save, didn't he? I don't know how he got back in position. I know the Tottenham fella didn't strike the ball clean enough because I think he hit it with his right and it came off his left foot, which was a bit strange. A little bit strange. But anyhow, so that's it. That is it. So what I need to do now, what have I got? I thought Champions League on there for. That's a weird one. Ah, yes, I know. I didn't change it. Oh my goodness. Right, sorry. This is them lot. Yeah, there we go. Just save it. So I is about to go into the platform, Twitter, the X platform, and then we'll look at the poll on the YouTube platform and see what happened with the man of the match. It's weird, isn't it? It felt like a defeat, really. 2 points dropped. But I thought I will put it out there, see who you thought was man of the match anyway, at least. So let's go into our Twitter feed and see if there's been any others. Let's have a look here. Okay. No, there's not. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. So there's nothing there. Let me just quickly look on our YouTube platform where we did the question. Your man of the match. Man of the match. It's a bit strange. Yeah, so I put in there Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, and other player. So 728 votes, 6 comments. I've responded to all those comments there. 21 likes. On 4% of the votes, Martin Odegaard. 5% of the votes, Declan Rice. On 8% of the votes, it was other player. I don't know who that other player was. 37% of the votes, William Saliba. It was a little bit disgusting on the ball, wasn't it? Some of those I don't know what he was doing there, man, at the back. Oh my goodness. I don't want to even talk about Jorginho. And then out in front on 46% of the votes was Bukayo Saka, who was probably maybe the only player that turned up for the game yesterday in the North London derby. Right. Okay. So let me go into live chat for the first time and see who has joined us on this one. And I've got Glenn Wynn, aka Guna Matters. Hey, Alex. Is what it is. What it is. Yeah. It is what it is. Again, I'm not about to get upset because, yeah, we drew. We drew, didn't we? We didn't lose. At least we didn't lose. At least we didn't lose. We dropped points yesterday, but I still think we will get in that second gear. I don't think so. Don't think so. To be fair, nobody can prepare for injuries, even when there is players like Rice and Timber that does not that have a history of injuries. They come to Arsenal. What happens? They have a history of being injured. Even Alex in the chat room, Tony will have to play the Jesus role to fit into that so-called system. It doesn't allow for individuality. But he's not that kind of player. If you look at all three strikers, Nketiah, who's like the fox in the box, he huffed and puffed. He ran his socks off yesterday, but again, he should have been taken off. Gabriel Jesus, a little bit more dynamic, again, plays in various positions. They're more free-flowing. And Ivan Toney, he's a different striker. Strong in the air, good on the ground. He can actually control the ball in the middle of the park and just go forward with the ball. So there are three different types of strikers. So it doesn't allow for individuality. You have to change the system. Change the system. When he's playing, when he comes off the bench, just have to change the system. That's all. Evening, John, the geezer. Arsenal look tired. Yeah, but for me, that's no excuse. There's no excuse. We're looking at the injuries. The injuries are one thing, but looking tired is something completely different. We've got a little bit more depth. We've got more depth, John. For me, it's not an excuse. Not an excuse. What's happened here? What's happened here? Yeah, okay. All right. Pow. I'll put it back up there. Okay. Yeah. I've seen some people going on about Kai Havertz. I'm not going to go into that. I see some people going in hard on Jorginho, who's not a holding midfielder. Not a holding midfielder, but under the circumstances, you've got your talisman, record signing, Declan Rice comes off. But it's just like, I don't know what Jorginho, he probably was stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's still trying to decide what he was going to do, because he could have played it out wide, couldn't he? To White, I think, and he didn't. And whilst he was thinking about it, thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh, he's taking the ball back or away from me. What I didn't like is that once he was dispossessed, he didn't run full pelt to try and get the ball back. Once you lose possession, try and regain possession of the ball. And I didn't see that from Jorginho. But yeah, at least we didn't lose. We didn't lose. People, don't let it fool you. Oh dear. If someone says there is the problem, Alex, changing the system. Why is that a problem? That should not be beyond Mikel Arteta, who's been with us almost 4 seasons. Prepare for every eventuality. Again, if you're going to start him, have the system set up whilst he's playing or when he comes off the bench. But we've been crying out for an out-and-out striker. 32 goals in 66 Premier League games. I mean, it's just under 50%, isn't it? Man of the match. I don't know about that job, man. But he was having an absolute nightmare. I was thinking, this guy is an Argentine international World Cup winner, and he just looked shell-shocked, thinking, oh, where can I hide? You can't hide anywhere, Romero, man. Own goal, hand, and then you got the captain's armband. Thinking, man, are they desperate? Anyway, okay. Just the last ones before I wrap up this one, actually, people. Let's just make sure I'm going to remove this. Okay. No. Shell shocked. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So that's common sense, but etc., etc., etc. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I saw a really good, I don't know, one of our contributors on the Backfire podcast, because he did a really good video on Mikel Arteta, and I thought he hit the nail on every single head, apart from when he's talking about Eddie Nketiah. But yeah, that video, check out Cos's latest video about Mikel Arteta. I thought, oh, wow, what a video. I recognize this person. There she. Really, Arsenal is going down because the players are relying on Rice now. You can see that it's not right to sell Xhaka in the first place. Well, Xhaka didn't want to stay. He didn't want to stay. And after 7 seasons, he had had enough. And he wanted to move on. So we don't want to keep players who don't want to play for Arsenal. And yeah. What's this? What's this one? That's good one. I just seen this silly person there. Yep. Common sense. Common sense has got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Just ask Mikel Arteta. Okay. I think we'll probably finish actually. Guys, let me know what you think about. Let me know what you think about having these two. But I might change, having a different background rather than seeing my kitchen. Because my wife's so tired of me showing the kitchen. And as well, oh, you can't see the bottle, can you? You can't see the bottle. Okay, what's this? Prediction. We will go straight out. Yeah, John, I've seen your thoughts about the Carabao Cup. No tin pot cup for me. We've not won it in 30 odd years, and it's about time we took it serious. A trophy is a trophy, John. I know it's your opinion, but a trophy is a trophy. Let's try and win it. Let's try and win it. All right, people. Do you know what? We have come to an end on this. Yeah, back in full effect on a Monday evening show over here. Cannon. Okay, all right. Jordan says that we are winning against Man City. Jordan, all I would say to you is, I think you've probably received one warning, haven't you? So Jordan, make sure if you are going to be a regular in the live chat, keep it clean, because I notice usually if somebody uses that kind of language in live chat, you get barred instantly. So I think you're quite lucky that our moderators have allowed you to continue posting in the live chats. In what sense of the word? In what sense? How can I say it? The Tottenham manager, under the circumstances, losing, Harry Kane, who's a gooner, by the way, he's got Tottenham playing free-flowing football. And you might think, yeah, but the first half they're a little bit dicey. They gave away the goal and own goal. It was an own goal. Oops, sorry about this. It was an own goal, wasn't it? But they're playing for him. They're playing for him, and he deserves respect where respect is due. So I think I know what you're talking about. But hello. There's an echo back in the live chat. There's an echo. All right. I think we are finished. We is finished. In North London derby. Oh my goodness. And just to think, the one time I predict I win for Arsenal, I lose it. 2-2. At least we didn't lose. Yeah. Lost Declan Rice. Bukayo Saka, a little injury, I think. Leonardo Trossard is out. Martinez is out. But at least we didn't lose. Oh dear. Anyway, last one, and then we are out. What we lack, grit and determination. How so? How so? What you mean to close out the game? We should have closed out the game. We should have. And I don't see people talking about, Gabriel Jesus missing that chance. Yeah, because over the bar, you should hit it on target. You might say, well, out of the two chances, him and Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah's chance was quite difficult on a tight angle, but yeah. I don't know. One more, because I do need to go. Spurs are won twice in 30 years. Dear. Well said, John. Well said indeed. Do you know what? We're done. We're finished on this one. I will be back tomorrow, giving some more live news. Same time, same place, different day. Sign him up. Yeah, that's Ivan Toney, by the way. Sign him up. We need an out-and-out striker. We do. Why? Because Paul Merson said so. Merce said it. So if he said it, it must be right. People. Anyway, I'm out of here. Until then, I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, this is over. Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.